On Global TV News Prime, Shettima departs Nigeria for United Nations Food Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. In business, stakeholders split over decomposition, oil and gas bill. And on the foreign scene, Trump's ceasefire push fails to stop Thailand-Cambodia border clashes. In sports, Tinubu to receive victorious Super Falcons in Abuja Monday. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch. A quick reminder that Global Television is on BSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. Now the news in full. Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja for Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to attend the second United Nations Food System Summit, scheduled for July 27 to 29. The summit brings together global leaders to assess progress since 2021 and strengthen efforts towards resilience, inclusive and sustainable food system. Shettima will join high-level discussion on food security, agricultural innovation, and responsible investment before returning to Nigeria at the summit's end. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy and former Osun State Governor Adegboyega Oyetola has ruled himself out of the 2026 governorship contest. Speaking at an APC stakeholders meeting in Osogbo, Oyetola says his priority is the party unity and winning back the state, not personal ambition. His withdrawal narrows the race to the remaining aspirants, just over a year to the election scheduled for August 7, 2026. The states in Nigeria's northwest region, including Kano, Katsina, and Jigawa, have opposed granting voting rights to Nigerians in the diaspora during the ongoing 1999 Constitution Amendment hearing in Kano. Led by Deputy President of the Senate, Barau Jibrin, state representatives instead voiced support for local government autonomy, state police, and the creation of new states. Jigawa advocated for Hadejia State, while Kano proposed Gari and Tiga states. Katsina suggested Bayejada and Karaduwa states. They also back enhanced roles for traditional rulers and legislative representative for all local government areas. Medical doctors under the state's Lagos State government have declared a 3-day warning strike starting Monday, July 28 over unlawful salary deductions. Dr. Japhet Olubogi, chairman of the Medical Guild, cited repeated violation of agreements by the Treasury Office. The union is demanding reversal of deductions and payment of 12-month arrears to consultants. Over 385 doctors ratified the decision and issued a 21-day ultimatum for a full resolution. Anambra State has again raided a baby-making facility previously shut in February. The illegal operation in Umunya, Oyi local government area, linked to a self-acclaimed Delta-based doctor, Odile Osai, was discovered trafficking girls aged 15 to 21. Head Commissioner Dr. Afam Ubidike said the suspects were arrested and investigations launched. He described the raid as a major step in combating trafficking and gender-based violence in the state. As the rainy season continues across Nigeria, many workers are finding it increasingly difficult to get to their workplaces on time due to flooding, traffic congestion, and transportation delays. Residents says while the rain bring relief from the heat and support agriculture, they also expose the country's poor infrastructure and lack of emergency preparedness. Ubong Usoro has the report. On the other side of this break, stay with us. Welcome back from that break. Let's quickly take you through the world of business. A proposal to establish a new agency that will oversee the documentation and the commissioning of oil and gas installations in Nigeria has sparked debate among stakeholders in the sector. While lawmakers say the move is necessary to protect the environment and host communities, regulators believe existing frameworks are sufficient. Our correspondent, Anete Patrick, has the details.
Stakeholders in Nigeria's oil and gas sector are sharply divided over a proposed law to establish the National Commission for Decommissioning of Oil and Gas Installations, also known as NCDOGI. The public hearing, chaired by Honorable Alhassan Adodogwa of the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream, brought together lawmakers, regulators, and environmental experts to deliberate on the controversial bill. Honorable Adodogwa described the initiative as a proactive move to enforce global best practices and shield host communities, especially in the Niger Delta, from the environmental risks of abandoned oil infrastructure, but not everyone is on board.
The regulatory institution in enforcing or assessing decommissioning practices, this bill is not meant to duplicate your work, but to complement and strengthen existing legal frameworks while creating a unified approach to a matter of national importance.
A director at the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Mark Emmanuel, argued that the existing Petroleum Industry Act already covers the commissioning obligations and funding mechanism under the supervision of his agency.
Creating a separate commission now would undermine the principles of regulatory clarity and predictability that the PI 2021 sought to achieve, thus impacting on the federal government's initiative on the ease of doing business.
Also echoing this view was Director of Environmental Assessment at the Ministry of Environment, Rufikat Odetoro, who suggested that rather than creating a new body, agencies like the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency should be empowered and better funded.
We cannot afford to contaminate our environment because our environment is our national asset.
However, not all regulators oppose the idea, as the Deputy Director of Legal Services at NOSDRA, Titilayo Bayelo, expressed support for the bill but emphasized that NOSDRA must be included in the proposed Commission's governance structure for effective coordination.
Yes, international best practices for the environment supports the fact that environmental bodies of governance should evolve self-policies, laws, regulations on oil spill prevention.
The hearing also drew attention to the ongoing disconnect between policy and action, particularly in the Niger Delta region, where communities continue to live with consequences of abandoned oil installations. Annie T. Patrick, Global Television News.
The House of Representatives Committee on Renewable Energy has raised alarm over a 50% skill gap in Nigeria's renewable energy workforce. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Afam Ogene, disclosed that during the African Policy Dialogue in Abuja, themed green jobs and low carbon transition. Our National Assembly correspondent, Aniete Patrick, reports.
According to Honorable Ogene, the shortage of skilled technicians and engineers is hindering growth in the sector despite Nigerians' renewable energy potential. He attributed the challenge not just to workforce deficits, but to weak policy frameworks and limited knowledge transfer. Honorable Ogene called on academic institutions to align their curricula with the demands of the green economy, adding that the National Assembly is working to enact effective legislation that supports green job creation, especially for youths and women.
It's good to look at the green jobs, but the green jobs need to be very decent.
Speaker of the House, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, represented by the Deputy Minority Whip, Honorable George Ozodinobi, affirmed the 10th Assembly's commitment to advancing green policies that tackle unemployment and promote clean energy.
We cannot be investing so much money into renewable energy and not turning that into gainful employment for our people.
Also speaking, Victoria Manya of the Include Knowledge platform stressed the need for inclusive climate policies, warning that without equity, the low carbon transition could favor fossil fuel interest.
A just transition must not only reduce emissions, because if you look at it, what is the measure of Nigeria or Africa's contribution to the emissions? Very minimal and at best insignificant.
Some stakeholders agree that Nigeria stands at a crucial turning point where bold action on renewable energy can unlock jobs, empower communities, and protect the environment. Aniete Patrick, Global Television News.
As the price of goods and services come down, palm oil, which is brought to Kano from southern parts of Nigeria, has reduced significantly. Traders in Kano told our correspondents that although it's rainy season, but palm oil, which is used, is becoming costly, but the price is reducing gradually. Idris Jibrin has the rest of the story.
This is called Galadima Market in Kano. It is from here that palm oil brought from southern Nigeria is distributed to other parts of northern Nigeria. Lately, palm oil has been very expensive in Kano, but with the recent reduction in price of food items across the state, traders say the price of palm oil is significantly coming down. According to traders, the reduction in price of palm oil is attributed to the recent drop in Nigeria's high cost of living, which is why the market forces force the price to come down. Although there are challenges which include high cost of transportation and the lack of inadequate capital among these traders, but the traders are hopeful that things will improve in the next coming days. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global Television News.
On the foreign, Cambodia and Thailand have traded accusation of artillery attack as after United States President Donald Trump's had agreed to hush out a ceasefire. The attack came after both sides said they were willing to talk to end the fighting over their border dispute after Trump spoke to the leaders. 4 days after the worst fighting in more than a decade broke out between the Southeast Asian neighbors, the death toll stood above 30, including 13 civilians in Thailand, 8 in Cambodia. The European Union and French President Emmanuel Macron have renewed calls for Niger ruling junta to release the post-President Mohamed Bazoum, detained since the July 2023 coup. Despite lifting his presidential immunity, no trial has commenced. The EU welcomed recent prisoners released but insists Bazoum's continued detention is politically motivated. Israel has announced a daily tactical pause in parts of Gaza to allow humanitarian aid amid worsening hunger. The pause applied to select areas from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. as the military begins airdropping aid. The move, coordinated with UN agencies, aims to counter accusations of using starvation as a weapon in its ongoing conflict with Hamas. At least 6 people have died and more than 10 were left injured following a stampede at the Mansa Devai temple in Haridwar, northern India's Uttarakhand state. The incident occurred during a religious gathering as a large crowd surged on the temple's stairway. Authorities confirmed rescue operations are ongoing, and the state's chief minister, Pushkar Singh Dhami, said he's monitoring the situation closely. The stampedes at religious events are common in India. Similar strategy and tragedy were recorded earlier this year in Odisha, Goa, and Prayag during Hindu festivals. In sport, President Bola Tinubu will host the victorious Super Falcons and officials of the Nigerian female football team at the State House in Abuja on Monday, as the Super Falcons are expected to arrive Nigeria from Morocco. It is expected that the players and their officials would be rewarded handsomely by the president. In a bid to deepen grassroots sport development and raise future grandmasters, young chess enthusiasts gathered in Abuja for the Evolve 2.0 Children Chess Championship. Organizers say the goal is to sharpen critical thinking and build resilience in children. Agniete Patrick has the report.
Beyond being a game of strategy, chess is being used to inspire discipline, focus, and life skills in children starting from a young age. The Evolve 2.0 Children Chess Championship, held in Abuja, brought together school pupils competing across 4 categories: under 8, under 10, under 13, and under 16.
You know, chess itself has so many benefits, and some of the benefits is that it helps you improve your critical thinking skills.
Young participants say the game has improved their mental alertness and academic performance. Their passion for chess is evident as they speak on its personal impact.
Chess boosts my mathematics skills, it makes me intelligent, and it makes me do well in my exams.
Chess is a very talented game, and I love it because it makes me think ahead. It's actually kind of fun, and it makes me think critically. I like chess again because it's a nice game.
For parents and coaches, the benefits of chess go beyond trophies. They believe the game nurtures discipline and psychological strength.
He chose chess because I noticed his interest in chess, and then it's just okay for me to encourage him because it helps him stay focused.
Coaching kids are challenging and fun at the same time, because sometimes they tend to play with everything, but the fun of it is you get to see the child attributes.
With enthusiastic turnouts and outstanding performances across age categories, the championship not only crowned winners but also reaffirmed chess as a vital tool in early childhood development. Agniete Patrick, Global Television News.
Here we end Global TV News Prime, but before we go, let's look at a recap of our top stories. Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja for Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to attend the second United Nations Food System Summit, scheduled for July 27 to 29. In business, a proposal to establish a new agency that will oversee the documentation of oil and gas installation in Nigeria has sparked debate among stakeholders in the sector, while lawmakers say the move is necessary to protect the environment and host communities. regulators believe existing framework are sufficient. In all the foreign scene, Cambodia and Thailand have traded accusation of artillery attack hours after United States President Donald Trump said both countries had agreed to hash out a ceasefire. Then from the World Sport, President Bola Tinubu will host the Victoria Super Falcons and officials of the Nigerian female football team at the State House in Abuja on Monday, as the Super Falcons are expected to arrive in Nigeria from Morocco. That's it on Global TV News Prime. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am. Thank you for watching.